Hi YouTube, I'm just going to trim another bowl here, and again I forgot to check the thickness of it. Oh yeah, we're good. It's about to rain, and I think it's going to get dark when it rains because there are lots of clouds, so I wanted to trim this before I lose the daylight. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so with my needle tool, I'm just gonna score a circle around here to let me know how far in I'm gonna trim. So I'm going to brace myself with my hands and my elbows tucked in or leaning on these blue things, and that's going to there. There we go. So the inside is going to come out, and I'm going to trim the edge all the way over to this line right here. At least that's the plan. Sometimes if it doesn't work out, we have to improvise, huh? I'm just dampening the clay just a bit. It kind of keeps the dust down. Now, like I've told you before, these things right here, this business right here, these are placemats that I've stuck into my tray to keep the debris from flying all over my studio. And it works pretty good. I think a long time ago when I bought them, they were something like $4 for $1 in a kind of a package, and but that was a lot of years ago. But I'm sure any kind of little placemat would do. Doesn't have to be these clear plastic ones, but it is nice because when the sun's shining, it lets the light in. Okay, so we're just check that profile and make sure it's where I want it to be. Let's see. Let me brace myself on this here. I'm going to create the foot. So I'm using this corner down here of this square trim tool, and I'm sort of turning it in and pressing it in just to establish, whoops, that wasn't good, but to establish the spot where that little foot is going to start. So I'm pressing sideways on the bowl. I like this little tool for doing this part sometimes and getting right up here close. Actually, this one tends to stay sharper than that one. Okay, let's stop the wheel and take a look. So here's my little step there. I'm wondering if I can get it. Yeah, probably better quit there. What I was thinking was whether or not I could get that taller by trimming this down further, but I think that I'm getting pretty close. So I better not. Okay. How you like my placemats? They work pretty well, don't they? So I got right on that line that I scored and pressed straight down with the corner of this tool, just straight down. Now I'm gonna, with the corner, I'm gonna start in the center, or close to the center, and work my way to that spot. And then flat tool, lift up. Every time you can kind of leave that little thing in the middle if you want to till the end. So you're gonna okay, flat. Well, actually I'm kind of curving it up and over so that my bowl will have a surface that goes here and continues on the other side of this ring, or at least it gives the visual effect of that. So it'll be deeper right here than it is in the middle, but I don't want the middle to touch the shelf in the kiln. Also, if you leave a little poke up right there, it'll tell you how deep you've gone in the rest of it, so that by looking at that you can sort of judge how close you are to going through it. And sometimes that's good to know. Okay, so when you're done, you can just get right on top of that and get rid of it. Zzz. If you feel like you need to go one more round. So here's where I get this little rounded tool that I feel like I don't have any corners on it, so it's not likely, I can sort of rock it back and forth and it's not likely to dig in and ruin my surface. Whoops. I may have this going too fast too. Okay. Well, let's stop it and see. Well, wait a minute. Let's. Okay, that feels pretty good. Let's burnish that. With my trusty throwing stick here. This just pushes the grog back into the clay. Sometimes trimming the bowl will loosen up the grog and bring it to the surface, and it makes it rougher than the rest of it. So you want to make it all behave so it's pretty when you glaze it. want to especially push it down on the foot ring because you don't want to mess up the kitchen counter by sliding this across the counter or on the table. And this is pretty hard. This is just a little past leather hard. So I'm not in any danger, I don't think, of pushing the middle down and damaging the inside of the bowl. But that is something you need to always be aware of. Don't push too hard right there if it's wet. Okay, let's turn it off. And let's put our little stamp in it, on it. I always like to put a little plastic over the spot that I'm going to use my Broken Arrow with a W. It's kind of like a little brand. And then the plastic keeps the clay from getting pulled up if it gets stuck in the little stamp. So I'm going to take the camera off and get closer to this so you can see it. Let's see if I can get up here. Whee, there it is right there. There's my little stamp, and there's my little foot ring, and there's the nice profile that it makes. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.